Hi guys, if you've ever tried to book your flight online, then you have probably noticed some peculiar things about the whole booking process that makes it seem as if someone is feeding these websites with information about you. They're feeding them cookies. Well, not the chocolate chip kind or even the oatmeal kind. And no, they are not actually eating these cookies, and these cookies aren't actually physical in any way whatsoever. But somebody is feeding them information, and that somebody is technology. However, there are ways that we can work around technology, and that is what this video is about. First off, the internet is always watching you. Okay, that was a bit dramatic, but it is not particularly false, and I'm sure you already know this. Most websites you visit allow cookies so that they can search your history and then flood your senses with those things that are most frequently searched. But in addition to that, and especially for booking a flight, those cookies can track how often you search up for plane tickets for a particular route. And you will find that the more you search for something, the higher the plane price goes. Why is that, you may ask? Well, the website is basically trying to bully you into settling for something. And the way they know best to do it is by hiking the price for you after every search. That's a bully. And let's face it, it actually works. That said, if you want to work around that, there is a way. Incognito Mode. Incognito Mode doesn't only have to be used to search the dark web or the interesting web. It can also be used to make purchases and buy plane tickets without the intrusion of the all-seeing internet cookies. The reason for this is that in Incognito Mode, cookies are automatically reset when you leave the site, so there is no tracking activity, no harassing you with your peculiar interests, and no ever-increasing prices. Something else you need to know about the airlines and the Cookie Monster is that they have done their research, and they have found out that the closer it is to departure day, the more willing customers are to pay quite exorbitant fares. And that is why last-minute bookings of your flight close to your departure date is considerably more expensive than booking it early enough. As a result, if you have a departure date that you cannot be flexible about, make sure to book your ticket early enough. And by that, I mean 1 to 3 months for domestic flights and up to months for international flights before your departure. If you are scared about your trip being canceled, which is a serious possibility, actually consider booking your flight on the site that offers refundable airline tickets. Now, enough about the Cookie Monster. It is also pretty common knowledge that it is basically only the rich and wealthy that book their tickets during peak travel seasons like during festivals or around the time when students go back to school. If you are not one of those, booking well in advance should help make sure that you get to where you ought to be at a reasonable price. Moving on from that, there is something called fare class that airlines are savvy about. Basically, the idea of fare class is that numerous numbers of seats are allocated to a fare range based on a booking activity of their customers. What this means is that once all the seats in the fare class have been taken, that price ranges will no longer come up when you try to book. This might not be convenient for you, but you have to agree that this is a really smart move. But that's not what we are here for. What we want to know is how to work around this, how to work around the Cookie Monster and the airline strategy. Well, the thing is that you have to have a departure date that you cannot be flexible about. Booking well in advance should help you get around that. If you don't have to be where you want to be at a particular time, allow yourself to be flexible about destinations and departure. If you figure that particular price range doesn't seem to be available any longer, even though you are browsing in incognito mode, then check someplace else. Also, maybe you want to clear your cache. Honestly, you might end up finding a diamond in the rough, which is great, an interesting place that you would enjoy going to, but wouldn't have discovered if you were initially disappointed. Anyway, there's more to know about affordable trips. For one, nothing beats some comparative research. Do not ever get too comfortable with a flight booking site that you stop doing your research. Before you pay for any flight, make sure to compare prices across different websites, especially if you are trying to have a quick booking, in incognito mode of course. That said, if you are booking well in advance, you can afford to stick with a website if you've found over time they give you decent rates. However, if you want to check out that website for a while because there is a possibility that prices will drop, you want to be prepared to take advantage of that. There is a slight issue here, and that is the possibility that you get too hung up on finding the most affordable prices that you actually miss. So what I recommend is that you have an idea of how much you are willing to pay for a ticket, and when you see something within your ballpark, go for it. While there is a possibility that prices will drop, there is also a possibility that prices will increase. Now, there is only one thing you really want to consider before you make your bookings, and that is bonuses. Airline miles. Yep, there is absolutely no shame in taking advantages of bonuses, especially considering that you earned them in some way. Hopefully a good way. Now there are a number of ways that you can get bonuses. One of them is by flying frequently with the airline and joining their rewards program. Southwest Airlines, that's my man. These rewards can come in the form of free or reduced baggage fees, or even reduced flight fare. Another is a form of reward points, and you can get reward points if you use a travel credit card. You can accumulate your reward points and end up flying for free. Also, did you know that there are some airlines called discount airlines that offer, discounted flight fares and probably even zero cost for checking bags? Well, there are, so you should consider checking these out if you are serious about saving costs. And there you have it. Technology is smart. But we are smarter and can get cheaper flights if we really put our minds to it. So go ahead and try out these tips and wonderful ideas so that they work for you and you get a cheap airline ticket. Before you go, please pay a small price, which is a like button smash, and subscribe and hit the notification button. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great day.